All right. I know you guys haven't seen Juan in a long time. I mean, since the last time we did a video. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Juan and I were talking about doing more shows together. Jimmy might show up, he might not. Again, he's still working on getting a regular spot where he can record without driving his family insane. Because he's in Japan with them, and of course it's nighttime. We got Matt and BrokenDollz here from Drawn Company. BrokenDollz.
Yeah.
I need to hear like I don't know anywhere near enough about Drawn Company. BrokenDollz. I mean,
Oh,
we
well, you're
we
going to. No, you're
that's
going to.
I'm excited about that. I mean, we
You're gonna regret that, Corey.
das is good. So yeah, I mean, you were on one of the we had you on Broken, during the last early on in the last bull market, which was really fun for me, just to be talking to people that are doing art, doing it persistently, doing it with the amount of passion that you do it with, is really fun. So I guess why don't we just go around, treat this like nobody has any clue who anybody is. My name's Corey. I am one of the founders of the Uplift Metaverse DAO. We've been doing this channel for a long time. I'm currently super obsessed with AI and setting us up for the next bull market for the Uplift and for some of the other things that we're doing, and to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to support the wax community and the sort of larger family of creators that are in our network. So that's me. Juan, you want to go next?
Yes, I'm Juan. I'm the co-founder of NFT Blocks, and we've been creating tools for NFT creators since a couple of years now, and very excited to keep on building for the next bull market. And even if it's not the next bull market, we will keep on building.
That's awesome.
I'm broken. I've been doing NFTs on wax for almost 3 years. Some are good, some are bad, and that's what I know what to do. I guess lately. No, but seriously, the last 3 years have been a real interesting experience, not just in a professional view. I'm a designer. My job is to design stuff, but the whole Web3 space, I hate the word metaverse, is just incredible for good or for bad, and it's still got so much potential that I don't think we tap even to the beginning of it. And yeah, let's go to Matt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name's Matt. I'm funny NFT guy. My little thing in the metaverse, even though Ohad doesn't like it, is the office at the start of the metaverse, which is Drawn Company. We're a small indie brand which has gone from strength to strength. I started collecting wax NFTs with Hot Wheels in November of 2021. And after I'd got addicted to that, I was like, oh my word, people are doing stuff themselves on here. I think I can do that. So I had a stab, and Drawn Company was born, and I haven't looked back since. It's been a roller coaster ride. I absolutely love it. I sort of said last January, the January just gone, I said, like, I'm going to do a big drop. If I can't take things to the next level, then I'm probably just going to give up, because I'd got no sort of major commitments around the project at the time. It was just sort of like, it was fun. We did it. Let's move on and try something else. But that January, I managed to be able to sell NFTs at a value that I perceive them at. So as opposed to doing like 5 wax packs, I
Yeah.
went up to doing $1 packs. So that was a big leap for my audience, and they came with me. And other people came on board because I'd increased the value. And we've sort of ridden the PFP wave. We've got the Karen action figure PFPs in the background. We have lots of little sub brands. We have our Karen Burger wax game. We don't like to call it a game because you can't call it a game. It's gamification of NFTs. Try and promote that to people. But that's fun. And the premise of that is just literally building your own burger empire in the metaverse, and then with a bit of staking, because I know a lot of people don't like staking and they think it's the last chance saloon of a project, but I'm afraid people that they enjoy it, and if people enjoy it, what
Yeah,
why would we?
That's interesting, because I it's funny. Tell me more about the sense of, and Broken, I want to get back to a bunch of things that you said as well, but tell me more about that sentiment that's out there, because I haven't actually heard that yet. Now, granted, like, I've been in like Web 2 normie meat space for too long. But what's the main issue articulated around staking for a project? Because I mean remember the beginning of the last bull market, I think Our Planet was one of the first main ones to start this kind of thing, and that shit blew up. Like, there was a demand, and once people figured out how to do it, myself included, worked out really well. And like, I agree that there could be diminishing returns, but it's kind of like the arc of. And sorry, I'm totally like just giving an answer before that. There's that arc of like the hype cycle of any token, right? It follows that same curve, and that's just like, that's a Web3 thing. It's an attention-based thing. Anyway, sorry. So what's the main issue that you've heard about it?
So I've written an article about it. If you go to drawncompany.com, there's an article on there, and it basically. When the PFP craze started, there was a lot of people who came out of the woodwork and said, "Oh, staking, it's just, it's the sign of a dying project. It's the last thing you want to be doing." And at the time, I played with staking, but I'd seen sort of like the negativity in the community from either creators or some collectors, because you've got those collectors who are just in it for the art, and that's fine. But some people aren't just in it for the art; they're in it for that sort of the economic gain. So with Drawn Company, I try to draw a balance of that by what we do now is I don't sort of like advertise the staking overtly. I just play on the perks and rewards, which are amongst the best on the blockchain, I believe. Other people would have a big argument with that, and I've yet to have that argument with someone, because no one's challenged me on using that tagline. But I want to be challenged, because I want to have the discussion. But yeah, definitely there's that sort of like, it's just people just think it's an easy way to onboard people, and it is, because people enjoy it. Lots of my collectors are there just for the staking, and I don't mind that they're there for the staking. They've got to have the art. I don't like calling it art, but what I create has to resonate with them in some way, because a lot of different people do staking. So it's as simple as that for me. It's sort of like, I agree. I hear people telling me that it's rubbish and that it's not a thing to do. But then if people are enjoying it, why should we tell people that it's something that they shouldn't do? It's like, it's stupid. And it's meant that Drawn Company, okay, say if I'm giving away 50% of my drop revenue, we're still increasing the value of the product, the perceived value of the product. And I'm making more money at the top than I was when I was selling 5 wax NFTs. And then the knock-on effect of that is I've just gone to the next stage now. I've gone back to creating, off the back of my latest PFP, an offshoot of digital action figures, which have no staking involved, but they've got a high perceived value, because the value is set at the bottom by the PFP being 30 wax. To get these new action figures, you have to own the PFPs, so you have to own 5 of them. So there's 5 times 30. I'm no good at maths. So then we can start to increase the value of the stuff that, like, I really enjoy doing, which is the collectible items. And as I say, there's no staking involved with that part of the project at all. That for me is just fun, and it's almost cathartic. So but I would, if you're interested in the argument, I would go and read my article. It's called "Staking is Rubbish, but Another Word." And I basically, what I did was,
you're absolutely welcome to fucking swear on this show, just in case that's helpful.
In case
I need it.
You'll do British swearing. It sounds
honestly, it sounds adorable and sophisticated when
sounds polite.
God damn it,
rubbish.
So it's called "Staking is Shit." The ranting of an AI Victorian man, and there's some reasons why I've used an AI image for the article. It's a bit pretentious, but what I did was I amalgamated all the hate towards staking into one paragraph that this fictional guy
I like
was basically saying, and then I sort of like picked it apart and just said, no, come on, right? I don't care if you don't like it. People enjoy it. If people enjoy it, we're going to do it. Because if we didn't do it,
we've had the same conversation at Uplift a bunch, right? Like there's sort of the purist Minecraft crowd, and then there's the purist metaverse game crowd, and yada yada yada, all wrapped up in the fact that, like, you know, the DAO is still a business. You know, we're not, you know, we haven't made money since the last bull market, so we need to figure out the economic side of it, and we will, right? But like understanding that, like the vast majority of the owners of the land are people that are in Web3 because of that sort of gamification and speculation kind of thing, right? Like that's the city we live in, right? And there's a lot of other things that you can do in this city. There's art, there's metaverse, there's video games, there's you know, all the crazy stuff that you know, we love to bring into this to infuse it with some life. Because I mean, you know, if everybody wanted to just, you know, trade, you know, shitty freaking altcoins all day, they could do that. You know, but what's the fun of that, right? Like this is a brand new kind of thing.
You know, I think there's nothing wrong with staking per se, but there are some caveats there. And one is that staking should not be the same for everybody. If you are staking something, there should be specific roles, specific rules, specific rewards, a specific logic for your collection. Having staking for the sake of staking, that's number one. In my opinion, boring.
Yeah.
What I will say,
I 100% agree.
Yeah, but Matt said something important. People enjoys it. I don't know if it's the right people or the wrong people or what's going on, but people enjoys receiving a shitty token.
Yeah.
No matter what, they are happy if they receive something, and so that's good. But I think that our role here as creators is doing something fun, so doing something unique, doing something special for our collections, and not use the generic stuff that is out there.
Yeah, I think because the tools it's like a double-edged sword. The tools are so easy to use. Like if we're talking about 2021, staking was something legendary that only apes would do. And now, ever since like Mike D, anybody can do it basically on Wax. So, and everybody already done it. So you see thousands of farms. You have no idea who's against who. But I think it's like at the first couple of weeks, months, it was like something new, something brilliant. And now we're back to do your own research. And it's basically that. Yeah, there's lots of farms. Some of them are cool. Some of them are part of something bigger, something like a social game like Matt does. And some are just, you know, just putting NFTs, getting shitty tokens. Yeah. And if there's a crowd for that, who am I to say? Like,
yeah, and that's sorry, just to build on what both of you were saying, but especially what Juan was saying, was one of the things I said in the article that I tried to convey was, look, right, I don't understand why it's fun, right? I don't understand why it's fun to check my balance in the morning, right? I've probably already got a spreadsheet and worked out how much wax I'm going to have because I can do that from the hourly rate. But it's fun to look at that balance of whether it's wax, whether it's another token. It's just fun. Can't explain it, yeah. But I've got a lot of different hobbies that I would struggle explaining to everybody. Nothing saucy, okay? Right before
that you're willing to admit in public. Just kidding. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I love the idea of game. Where are you guys actually doing all these farms? Like, I've been on, you know, admittedly, I need to sort of reintroduce myself to basically all the crazy stuff in the Wax community that isn't named Nefty, because I mean, I'm, you know,
there's Wax DAO, waxdao.io,
okay,
and that's the main. There's also Pepper Steak that I haven't personally tried, but it's there.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the two main ones.
Pepper Steak, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I wanna check this stuff. Oh, there we go. Oh, fair enough.
Wax DAO is
farms created.
We do a lot of types of farms and synthetic tokens and make tokens and whatever you want. And as I said, it's a good and bad thing because everybody can do, like, that's the fucking internet.
Yeah, 100%. Juan and I have actually talked about that too, right? Like the ease with which you
what
can.
Mike did is amazing. Really,
Yeah, that's cool.
Anybody can do it with 2 clicks. That's just great.
With 2 clicks, but you're only as good as your last rodeo, right?
Yeah.
You're a small indie creator,
Yeah.
and that's what I always say to people. Like, I've given away 60,000, I think 64,000 K in wax since August, right?
Mhm.
And if I stop doing that, or if I don't meet those requirements, or if I like write something in that I'm very conscious not to, like it comes back to bite you in the end. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like you have to deliver, and you have to deliver incrementally. If you sort of like come into the space with lots of big promises, you're just setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah, it's definitely an
indie
interesting
perspective.
No, honestly, I think it makes sense even at scale, right? I mean, that it's you know, if you're a bigger game or a bigger project, and you don't keep, you know, the monkeys dancing, then, you know, eventually the music stops and you got a problem, right? Like that. That it's well, and really, like it's almost impossible to stay. I think it is actually impossible to stay ahead of the big curves once the bull market starts, which is something that I'm sort of fascinated myself with solving, because I know the bull market's going to come, you know, 2025. We're going to have another thing where like a bunch of people are going to be, you know, running in here, you know, seeing the number go uppy and having a good time or whatever. And my mission is to figure out, okay, how do I help the Uplift navigate through the obvious hangover that's going to happen, right? Because like this is going to be my 4th bull market now. Like I've seen this movie, right? So, but we'll figure out how to sort of navigate those things. And I think the kind of work that you guys are doing right now, as far as, you know, figuring out the curve and the interest and solving for keeping things interesting, is going to be how we navigate that ultimately.
Yeah, because a lot of people arriving in one go isn't necessarily a good thing, because you've got to sustain, and you've got to go one better next time. Like if you look at my growth curve on Atomic, there's a big blip where I did the first Karen Burger, which was the staking game. Yep. But I also dropped a PFP the same week. So like I've got this massive spike. I've gone back to my sort of growth curve now, so I am sort of like gently growing up. But actually, like having a big influx of sort of like new collectors, or you can see half my hand there, isn't always like the best thing that could happen, because you've got to have an exit strategy, and you've got to be able to sort of like have something like in the bag to be able to deliver that to those people to keep up momentum, because if you don't, then it just dies on its bottom.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, so Broken, what are you doing these days? Is any of it gamification? Is it still art? Like what are you focused on right now?
Okay, so I'm still doing art mostly. But I can say that in the last couple of days, me and Matt have been working hard about the event that's coming in 2 weeks, Comic-Con in Birmingham, UK. So I haven't had much time to really do art, but this thing we're doing, that's like, which is not art, but part of the trying to find different places to bring Web3 or to interact with Web3 in the real life. It's like it's a big lesson for me about a lot of things that are like related to the real world, related to business, related to how we perceive and how should we perceive Web3. Me and Matt, we've been talking a lot about like our approach to this Comic-Con, because we've been talking to, you know, normies, people who have no idea about blockchain, don't care about blockchain, and that's amazing. And there's lots of stuff that we realized like lately that we might need to like change our perception about several stuff. Even the words that we're using, like wallets and stuff like that, can be intimidating for some people. So we started using just like an account, and that sounds stupid to some of us, but not to normal people. Because once you talk wallet, it's got money involved.
They all think it's like security problems. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Not even that. Think about that. Let's talk about the Wax Cloud wallet. It shows NFTs. It logs in to do actions on the blockchain. It's much more than just a place to hold your currencies.
True.
I better call it like an inventory, but that sounds stupid. So, like I like to say, account because it changes. It changes people's way of looking at this space, not only as a money making machine, something that's got to do with economy or investments. Because that's like 90% of the people that we've talked to and asked about what do you know about NFTs, something that's got to do with money.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's sort of stupid. If we've that's only thing we've got from people is that it's something that we do with money. We're definitely doing it wrong. And um, besides that, yeah, I do art. I do started doing a little bit consulting on the Ike community of Alien Worlds, Ike Rocks. We've been also trying to build, and hopefully it will be ready for this Comic Con, a sort of a getaway slash landing page for creators, but not from the regular perspective of Web3 jargon, more like we want to compare it to normal marketing and show the benefits of Web3 versus normal marketing and PPC campaigns and stuff that some of the advertisers and small time businesses and even big time businesses are not aware of. That they can do a full on Web3 campaign, have an amazing, crazy reach, that will cost them $100 basically. If you try to do that on Google Ads and PPC, you'll get lost. Well, it's not the same thing. It should be handled differently, very differently. But that's something that I'm trying to explore actually in the last period.
That's cool, man. I like that, and really like anything reaching out. Yeah. How do you get a normie in? Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's I can babble. It's like going a little bit beyond the regular stuff we do. And in the meanwhile, I make crappy JPEGs. That's I'll always do that. It's like it'll never change.
Never stop. Never stop.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So hey, before I forget, Lisa C has a gratitude. I'm actually gonna put some up on the monuments because it's freaking what we do. I wonder what's gonna happen if we do.
Lisa C is a filer of the community.
Without a shadow of a doubt, that's accurate.
Nobody's like Lisa.
Yeah, no, she's freaking amazing, and just as consistently positive and constructive and building as anyone I've ever met, any group of people I've ever met.
God, that's a tombstone. What are we looking
at? Our names are on there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Lisa C's been up here about 16 trillion times. Won a bunch. I'm pretty sure if we went down a bunch of floors, Ohab, you're on here as well. Oh yeah, Lisa just said, "Hey, EOS USA has a new project. Can he come in next time?" Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Bring him in.
Freaking love that guy. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, what are you guys grateful for? Juan, let's start with you.
Oh wow. What am I grateful for?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to say today. I have to say that I'm grateful for science.
Go on.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't because of science and the advances that we have in medical treatments and so on, maybe I wouldn't be here today in the show with you having a great time. So let's be grateful for science.
Damn! Now I'm grateful for science. Feel like there's oh, I'm putting the wrong name on there. That's well, I'm 100%. I'm very grateful that you're around right now for sure. All right. Yeah, Broken.
What am I grateful? Oh God.
Yeah.
For my kid, for my daughter. I'm grateful for that. Bro. I'm in a very complicated part of the world right now. So
yeah.
I'm grateful she's not.
Yeah.
That's what I'm grateful. She's in the Netherlands, so.
Have you been able to visit her in the Netherlands recently?
I'm going. Yeah, I'm going. I'm going soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's no problems flying. I'm going soon. Visit her for a week, and then Birmingham Comic Con. Visit.
Cool.
This
nice.
Yeah.
Crypto Saver, good night. Oh man, I wonder where in the world you are. I guess we're pretty much we're spread out pretty good actually. It's morning over here. All right, Matt.
So I'm gonna, I should say my family, but actually, the one person who I'm truly grateful for over the past 4 weeks is Broken, because I would not want to work with me, right, on an event like Comic Con. I just wouldn't. Well, I'd just say, do you know what, Matt? Right, I love you, but I'm out. Okay, before we even get dragged in.
That is a powerhouse, people.
Yeah.
If you ever want something done yesterday, then Matt is the guy for you.
That's
really,
awesome.
you just need to understand his accent. But that's all.
Yeah, yeah, understand the silly British accent.
It's silly. Oh, Philippines. That's awesome, Crypto. Cheers. Thanks for
God.
popping by. Anyone in the comments, feel free to rifle off a gratitude. Again, we've been, if you guys haven't seen this before, we've been doing this for a long time. These are all gratitudes from people that have been on the show. And this building is big.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been cool. We've had, you know, people of all stripes and sort of, you know, experience levels and all sorts of crazy stuff. Anyway, this is just sort of one of the ways that we kind of mark time, and I just love having people sort of cue in on the stuff that they're grateful for. Actually, crypto. This is also true. One of the things that I'm doing right now, the floor down beneath us. One of the things I'm doing for Uplift 2.0 this year is dropping some Pioneer NFTs. So if I get a name and a wax address, I put you on one of the monuments on the floor down below. And we send you one of these NFTs. It's going to be the only way to access the blends. Kind of like what Matt was talking about, right? Like, you know, if you have one of these things, we're going to be dropping blend NFTs for the new metaverse we're doing on Mind Test, and very likely the battle robots that are going to work there. And you know, all the different minor updates for Upliftium. All those things are going to require one of these Pioneer NFTs to get access to. There's still 20 spots left in the first 100. Everybody who gets in on that first 100, I'm actually going to drop them every time I do any drops at all. I'm going to drop to everybody who's already been there. So once we get to 200, I'm going to drop 200 again. So you're going to get another one. Once we get to 400, I'm going to drop one to all 400. You're going to get one again. So the next 20 people who give me their names, they're probably going to get at least 3 of these things. And then that way they'll have, you know, a bigger access to that. So anybody, again, just crypto, I'll just use your crypto name and your wax address. I'll be happy to put you up on there. And yeah, make sure you follow the Uplift Discord for some of the news on that stuff, because it's gonna be fun. Martin, what's up, man? All right, so looks like nobody wants to do any more gratitudes, which is totally cool. All right, so Matt, what's the project that isn't yours that you're paying attention to the most right now on Wax?
I don't have time. Because, like, when I say
I've so
time,
been there. If it wasn't for doing the show, I wouldn't know anything else. Like that's one of the reasons why I do it.
It's hard. So I'm obviously Comic Con we could see as a project. So that's something I'm heavily invested in. The other thing which I like to support, and I think is another gateway for onboarding people, is NFtopia. Because NFtopia is run by a group of creators, and basically what it is it was a sort of like bi-monthly metaverse conference whereby people would go and show their wares, and they'd have like a party, would get collectors to come in, and it would be fun. They started off as something called Digicon. You might have heard of Digicon. Splinterlands run it to start off with. Yeah. But the Splinterland stopped doing it, so the community took it on board, and I think it's the most, I would put my neck on the line and say that sort of thing is the most exciting thing in Web3 for me, because it enables, it gives you sort of like a conference experience in the metaverse, and I know other people are doing it, right? But other people might not be doing it sort of like to the scale that these guys are doing. I mean, I might be wrong. There might be companies that do this, and it's an established trade. Whatever. I haven't come into them. And I think giving everybody that platform and being able to sort of monetize it now, because that's what they've had to do, because they've taken it away. They haven't got funding anymore. They've got to pay the bills somehow. So we're pushing up again the value of stuff which is being created. Because if someone wants to display at NFTopia and it's going to cost them $10, they need to make $10 back whilst they're at NFTopia. And there's different scales of booth that you can buy. And it's just as I say, it's interesting because I think that's one of the conduits that we will be able to use at Comic-Con, even to bring people in and to show people the best of what we do in what is essentially a web app that anyone can access from a desktop. You can get it through a phone, but it doesn't work very well. So
Gotcha.
yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Juan, what kind of tools? I shouldn't be as like open ended as this because I know I'm putting you on the spot. What kind of tools are you guys looking at for creators like drawing company? Because I know you guys have basically everything you ever want anyway, right? But is there anything that you have kind of on the docket that you're thinking about?
Right now we are focusing mainly on closing the gaps with other marketplaces, providing everything that we are missing at the moment, and we are not really building something completely new. I have to say, we are working on many things at the same time, but basically improving what we have and making sure that the quality and the usability is as good as any other thing that it's available on Wax. That said, there are things that we will never try to create. For example, the staking like WaxDAO does. I think that for us that doesn't make sense to make it available to everybody. I think that's as I said when we started this conversation, those are things that I think every creator should develop and should really come up with collection specific mechanics for their staking or whatever they do. I think this is one of the biggest differences with other blockchains, and I think what makes Wax is very cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to bitch here. I really love Wax. Otherwise, we wouldn't be working on Wax anymore. But what I mean is, if you go to other chains, there's really people, creative people, working with developers and building stuff that it's that hasn't been seen before. And I think that that's something we miss on Wax. We are making it very easy for creators with a lot of tools, but at the same time, by making those things that easy, we are, in my opinion, stopping creativity or not allowing creativity to grow and to show some innovation on the blockchain.
That's interesting. Sir, I gotta break in here because one of the things, one that I want to push back a little bit is I have seen so much more. Now, granted, my experience with Ethereum and some of the other blockchains is admittedly pretty low, but the tools that you guys have created massively upgraded the amount of creativity that we could use in any project that I've been a part of. Now, you could tell me I'm not that creative. That's possible, right? We've done a couple dumb things or whatever, right? But I mean, like it's you guys have been the node for that, and you're democratizing those tools, so you don't need $100,000 to start a project, right? Because that's if you want to go get a developer, you're gonna need that.
Maybe
it's not. It's not. Facebook.
No.
Facebook. You don't need $1 million to start a Facebook profile. It's the largest website on the face of the earth.
No, but wait. It's not as simple as that.
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Even Facebook, Instagram, all of those wants to charge you now for an account. Why? Because they need a business model. The advertisement business model is not going to work anymore in the way that it used to work, especially in Europe because of all the regulations. So they need something to make their revenue. And the same, I think, for NFTs and whatever. You cannot give away everything for free
I agree.
Then what you do is that there's a lot of people who's not really committed to their projects, and that they are not working their asses off to make a profitable business out of their collection, which is what we really need on the blockchain, on the wax especially, to grow. We need people who has not only the artistic side, but also the business mindset to grow their collection to something amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of that. That's what I get for trying to argue with Juan. I get slapped in it next week.
The space
When he's right, he's right.
evolving and maturing. That's part of it, I guess.
Yeah,
And
I mean that's 100%. We have to be like that. Somebody just asked for the a link to the Uplift Discord. I'm just gonna throw that in the comments right here. I wonder if it'll actually let me do a website. I think it did before. There we go. You can always go to the uplift.world. There's a easy to find Discord link on there too. Anyway, sorry, Matt, you were gonna say?
No, I wasn't going to say anything. So.
Oh, all right, never mind. Show's over. Thanks everybody for dropping names and wax addresses down. I'm writing them all down as we have our conversation here. So I mean, I guess like the well, we talked about it right at the beginning, and funny, this is Matt, this is a thing that I've been thinking about. So I've got like a little art thing on the side that I've been doing. I'm not probably going to be really super focused on trying to do any sales until next year, but this shit is on my mind. Mine start at 600 wax, and I don't think the price is going to go lower than that. It's either going to work or it's not. But it really comes down to, and they're all like 101s or whatever, right? But it comes down to that same theory, right? Like where you set that initial value, you have to do the community work to sort of build up enough momentum to make that work, right? Which is something that's huge. But I mean, the way that you start, I think, is brilliant, especially in a bear market, right? Like if you're doing stuff for 5 wax or whatever, you're basically building a community, setting the barrier to entry really low. But then you're saying, you're cultivating that in the sense that, okay, like that was fun. Now we're going to do this dollar thing, make it more valuable, make it more fun, and sort of ramp that up, right? And there's, I don't think there's any reason why you can't just keep doing that, like keep ramping it up.
And sorry, one thing I've done this week with my my first reward for the current PFPs, because Drawn Company is very confusing and it's hard to get in one go. So I've done 3 PFPs so far, a trilogy. And the last PFP is called Armored Creatures from the Garbage. And it's like a homage to retro collectibles in the 1980s, specifically the little fellas that used to get the Keshis. And what I did with the holders this time is I said, okay, here's your minimum rewards that you're getting, and we've given them animated versions of these action figures on cards. But then I said I'm going to do something different, and I've come up with this idea of the upgraders, right? Which are basically the same sort of figures, but you get an accessory pack, which drops in the packs that I'm going to be doing for these fellas. And then you can blend them together, put them in a slot machine, it spits out a rarer NFT. Now, I approached the community and I said, look, right, I've set the mint for the pack at 120. There's currently 42 holders. I'm going to give you 2 each, right, for free. But should we go balls out as a collective? And I'll list 10 on Nifty Blocks for an absurd amount. So they're currently listed. There's 10 for 169 wax, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to be ripping people off. But what I was saying to the guys was, I was trying to convey, let's sort of like put the price there. We're already selling them for sort of like $5 as they are without these upgrades. So maybe we can reach higher. And just sort of like adding value that way and seeing if that works. And if that doesn't work, it doesn't matter, because we're going to continue doing this series of upgraded collectibles, and we'll just try a different approach next time.
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately, and I want to get to Triple B, man. Having a bit of a nostalgia bomb, BBB going back to. Anyway, has a whole bunch of really good points. But yeah, I mean, that's. I think that the fact that these tools have been democratized means that the serious people can really go. And Juan, I definitely am sensitive to the fact that this is so easy means there's a lot of noise, right? there's the signal to noise ratio on Wax is probably smaller than it is on Ethereum, where everything that you do is going to cost $5, like no matter what you want to do or whatever, right? But the cream is always going to rise to the top. And the people that are constantly innovating and constantly grinding and constantly trying to serve their community and their project, right? Like that's gonna work, right? It might take a little bit longer. It might be a little bit messier. It's definitely going to be messier, but whatever. I think that like the ground up stuff is something that I don't know. I've just been passionate about for its own sake. So anyway, you guys want to talk about any of that, and then I'm gonna get to BBB's comments here. Good talk. All right.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you're saying, Juan. This is from PBB, but in Wax's current state, learn and develop and create innovative technologies out of reach for most. Nobody wants to learn C++. Literally nobody, except maybe Jose. And you need it just to get your foot through the door in creating new technology. I wonder, actually, I haven't tried to do any too much stuff with GPT-4 yet, but I bet that's going to democratize things another level as well. So I think the focus needs to be put towards creating accessible learning resources versus publicly available and free tools. Maybe as a digital artist, Web3, a creator marketplace for me, but the challenge is that people seem to want utility with all NFTs. I mean, that's culturally, I think that, again, coming from crypto, I think this was inevitable, right? Like people, are so used to whether it's DeFi or whether it's anything else, like the vast majority of our initial market anyway, right? This could change in the future when we go a lot wider. It has just sort of been the case. And really, like, they can do stuff. You're painting on a wall can't do anything else. It's gonna hang there and look pretty, and that's it. NFTs are effing powerful, right? So like not exploring utility feels weird to me anyway.
Yeah, but I think that there are audiences for everything, because there's people who really want art, and they want art, but I think that even when you are doing art, you should do something that's special, something that's really using the digital technologies. Because if you expect to sell an NFT that it's basically something like the painting that I have on my walls at home, it doesn't make sense. You have to do some content that it's appropriate for the medium that you're using.
It's a combination between social network and artists and a community. It's not the same as a guy who sells paintings at a fair. This is not
exactly.
There's
exactly.
More
that's really the point. Yeah.
There's more layers.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And but the thing, and this also goes, Corey, to what you said. You have to be grinding. You have to be here every day. You have to be working. You don't have to do this and say, okay, it's not going as I expected, I quit. No, if you do that, of course, this is not going to work. You have to come here, try this, try that. Some things will work, some things will fail, but keep on doing, keep on working, keep on showing up. And that's how you become successful on the blockchain.
Yeah,
well, basically everywhere.
Right, no matter what you're doing, as long as you're grinding and you're learning. If you keep doing the same thing and it's not working for 2 years, that's a you problem, right? Like, we have to learn and adapt to all the new situations. Which, I mean, Juan, I know that you do that constantly. I'm, waking up, trying to do it and failing at least half the time. But this is the process. This is how we do it.
Yeah, and for the comment there that nobody wants to learn C++, I kind of agree, but in the end, everybody has a price. If you're really making a profitable business on Wax, on the blockchain, and that requires learning C++, people will learn if they are getting something in exchange for their effort. So it's up to us to build successful collections, successful businesses on chain to make people want to learn C++.
Yeah, you guys talk about something. I'm actually messaging Tuttle. I have an idea.
My God,
I just want to say,
it was horrifying. No, you go, man. Say something.
Right, because we were thinking Comic-Con, right? I've never thanked Juan in public for the support that you gave us last year, right? Because Juan, if you hadn't have supported us last year, right, it wouldn't have gone ahead to the scale it did. and we wouldn't have had a proof of concept to then approach Wax with it this year and just say, look, this is what we've done. Okay, this is what we can do, right? And you know, so thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart, because you know we didn't really do the sort of we've done the dissection, me and Broken have, but we've never really disseminated the learning in the sort of way that we probably should have done. But everything that we've learned from last year has gone into make a product which we believe is the best on the planet, which makes us the best in the universe ever, right?
That we know of.
We know of.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not telling lies. Yeah.
But sorry, you see that. But that's what my wife keeps on looking at me and rolling her eyes when I say that, and I say there's nobody else trying to do what we're doing with Comic Con at the minute. There is nobody else trying to onboard regular collectors to Web3 in that fashion and going down to the level that we are going down to with it. It's as simple as that. I don't believe, and I would again, please challenge me, right? If someone out there knows of someone that's doing it, I'd like to meet them, because maybe we could learn something from each other.
Yeah.
I love that attitude. And really the fact that you guys are doing hardcore outreach the way that you're doing it, you know, at the bottom of this market. I know like they're like Bitcoin's having like a little day or whatever. It's going to do that for the rest of the year. It'll go up, down as much as it's going up. Likely, could be wrong.
Yeah.
Caveat, bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I'm always wrong, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know, it really is like the middle of the cycle. Halving hasn't even happened yet. And, you know, you guys are out there grinding, you know, new potential community members that aren't connected to that world, right? And ultimately, that's how we break the Bitcoin cycle. You get so many people involved doing it for that reason and not being sort of a slave to that market or just reactionary to the cycles in that market. It's going to be huge for everybody.
It's easier in the current bear, because once the token is so cheap, nobody's fucking about any money or you're trying to like this is
even though like if they were smart they would be
maybe no, but you know the perception of $5 here's like a bunch of cool NFTs, and it's easier to sell, you know, common folk.
Yeah, but the real question here is, guys, you're doing an amazing job here. You're going out there, you're promoting the wax, you're promoting the blockchain, you're promoting NFTs, you're onboarding people in a very unusual way. Then my question is, what are you guys doing, or what's your plan to scale this, to really onboard the next million users?
Okay, so I think it's like I said to Wax. So, what Comic Con as a project at the minute, if we call it a project, we're very privileged because we're working in a skunk works, right? So we're you know we've got the resources that we've got to be able to refine the pitch, and then the sky's the limit now. Because, and Juan, I told you this story last year. I bored you with it. There was no way that anyone would have taken me seriously for Comic Con last year, but it was always my dream. Let's take Drawn Company to Comic Con. But why? If I'm taking Drawn Company, I might as well take everybody else, right? Because we're stronger together. So from that learning, we're then going into this year. And to be honest, I think if we can refine the pitch, and we are still on a shoestring, if we can demonstrate, which we will be able to because we've got a website this time that we're directing people to, if we can demonstrate that we're getting people at the convention with the resources that we've had, there's no reason why we couldn't roll this out across the planet. And I think the sky's the limit. And the fact that what makes me truly excited is when we go to Comic-Con, people they're not completely dismissive, but they just don't know that we exist, and they don't want to know about the technology. The one problem that we have with onboarding people is we're far too technical because we're too far into it. We talk in terms, as Broken said earlier on, that people just don't understand or don't need to understand, right? What we need to do is to be able to show them a Drawn Company pack or someone's pack opening up on their phone, because when we did that last year, their eyes light up and you can see that, oh, hang on, minute, I've just opened a digital pack. I now understand this, right? And if we can do that 100 times at Comic-Con, if we do the rule of thumb that 10 of them might be, we might only convert one into someone who's buying and collecting, but it doesn't matter, because if we can sell one, we can sell 10,000. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And once we've got that pitch and we know what we're talking about, we can maybe even start to sell it to other people.
Also,
I see what you did there.
There's also the part about trying to giving the creators that are in the convention a way to access the blockchain. We've got several ideas of building sort of introduction templates that creators of regular businesses can find where they fit in Web3. And I think that audience of Comic-Con and those type of creators might be the right place to start with. So these are like the two. We want to do it bigger, but we also want to try to understand and crack out how do you get people to do this? What's the best way? So I think that's also part of the answer.
We're not going this time thinking that we've got the ultimate answer. We're going this time thinking that we've got a better answer than we had last time, right? Yeah. So we've looked at the little things which we need to change, and we've tweaked them. So the offer's slightly different. We've gone digital because we went purely print last time. So funnily enough, we needed to go digital. We need to show people this on a big screen, right? Which is a no-brainer, but there we go. And I think it's for me. And then I've got to go. It's about the two-pronged attack. What Broken's saying there. We need to be able to learn how to speak to creators, and again, we've got a catchment of lots of creators there, and how to just gently ease them in and just say, look, right, just come here and try it. As Broken said, you could spend thousands of pounds on a Google marketing campaign. You give me $10 and I'll give you an audience of,
I'll probably reach more relevant people, depending on lots of stuff. Also, what we've learned that on conventions, especially if you're an owner of something, you're shielding, because everybody's trying to sell you something. There's always money involved. That's why we made the website, and a sort of like, guys, check this out later. and by the way, also with onboarding, we found out that giving it to people, a lot of them sign up a day or two after. Once their defenses are down and are free to talk and do their own research. People actually need that. Surprisingly.
Guys, sorry, I've got to go because I'm on school duty, right? But thank you for having me.
Oh man, we'll have you guys back for sure. Like anytime you guys have something that you're promoting, just let me know and we'll put you back on.
Don't worry, don't worry. Sorry, Juan, and you will regret you said that.
No, these guys know I mean it. Like I'm really serious.
And they should be back after Comic-Con to tell us about their experience there.
Take notes.
Yeah,
it's a great idea.
I'll do better than that. I'll bring a map presentation.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Hey, everybody at Comic-Con know too. Like you're coming on a totally massive Web3 show, and just tell them like I'll put their name up in lights to anybody who grabs something free from you guys there, something like that.
Lovely, cool. Listen, I've got to go. I'll see you later. Thanks for having me.
Bye, man.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
That's fun. Juan, I gotta tell you, I love doing these things with you. I'm really glad you said you wanted to do some more stuff. Hey, is there anybody on your radar for who we might have on next from the Nifty Blocks community?
I don't have someone on the top of my mind, but I will come up with someone during the week, and we'll have him here next week.
All right, sounds good. TC, if you would like to come on, I would love to have you on just because I fucking miss you. Also, if anybody knows any PFP projects where there's any of the NFTs that have a wax hat on, let me know or let TC know because he's been collecting them. So again, any PFP project on wax that has a wax hat, My dear friend TC wants to get a hold of those things, and he's building an amazing collection that we're probably going to end up having to build a gallery for in the uplift somewhere because it'll be a lot of fun. Broken, is there anything that you want to let people know about before we break?
Nothing. You're gonna, I'm on Twitter all day, bro. I tweet 100 tweets a day.
Hey, what's your Twitter at? We'll see if we can send some people your way.
Dollz Broken.
DOLLZ Broken.
Yeah. See, even my nickname.
All right.
Broken.
Let me. Is that look accurate?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, everybody, go follow Dollz Broken on X.
On X. So weird.
X.
And yeah. Wait.
It's the most awkward rebranding in the history of brands.
It's like a '90s Def, like Planet X. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
X.
Yeah.
Like,
at the risk of becoming political, I wish he'd stuck to rockets. He was doing so good. Anyway, cool. And so at Drawn Company and at Dollz Broken doing the IRL onboarding. Yes. What's up, Andrew? How's it going, man? So again, I'm not super ready to commit doing these every single day yet, but when we have guests, we're gonna come on. And this is exactly what happened last time. Jimmy and I were doing a weekly show, and then we had so many people we wanted to talk to that I just said, "Fuck it, let's do it every day." And that was fun.
A watch to earn module, and that will get you.
What's that?
That'll get you up every day. Build a watch to earn model.
Oh yeah, I mean we could. I don't see any reason why we like. There's got to be a way to do that, right?
That'll get you up every day.
Right.
Watch to earn.
Oh
yeah,
man,
that's a good one.
I wonder how you could track that. Like maybe with like some kind of fan thing on YouTube or something that scrapes the comments. Just logistically, how would you do that? Because we've talked about it before. I was just wondering sort of what the way to do it would be that isn't me collecting wax addresses from the comments, because we've done that, right? Like, we were given NFTs away. I could probably start doing that again, at some point, just randomly picking somebody. But what's that?
Which got something developed by NFT Hive.
Really?
But the problem is getting listed as a game on Twitch. That's the hard part. Not using the tools they made. I remember Ben said something about that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but I'm not.
All right, well, maybe I'll have to create an AI that knows how to do C++ and can fuck around with shit on YouTube.
You'd be a god.
Well, for the record, that's what I was talking to Tuttle about. We can do that. That's a thing that we can do. So, we'll see.
We'll see.
Shit's gonna get crazy. All right, I love you guys. Thank you guys, everybody, for showing up. Again, I'll put this up. I'm at Corey Cottrell everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, X.com, blah 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 blah. Again, I got I think 14 spots left on the Uplift 2.0 Pioneer NFTs. Again, everybody who gets in on the first 100 is going to benefit a whole lot, and it's going to be the main way that people are interacting with the Uplift over most of at least the first half of this next year, if not longer. It's going to be pretty fun. So anyway, and you get your name up on the monuments in the thing on the metaverse. That's pretty fun. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see when we come back. Juan's going to get us an amazing community better from NFT. And honestly, if anybody here, if you guys have projects going on, if you know somebody who's got a project that's going on that needs some attention, that needs some love, or just has something really interesting to say, let me know, and we'll get them on, and it'll be pretty fun. All right, thank you guys so much for coming. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Cool. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.